Right now, we're joined live by OPP Sergeant Kerry Schmidt. Always appreciate your time, Sergeant. I can imagine OPP has their hands full today. Tell us about the latest situation and what you guys are dealing with.
Change. The plows have been out. The salters are clearing the highways. The highways still have snow on shoulders. The ramps and the main lines are moving really well. They're wet, but again, because we're down at the freezing mark or below, we still have the potential for freezing conditions, and there are still chances of flurries and some snow streamers to come across the highways as well, maybe further north. But we need to be prepared for the unexpected conditions. I know a lot of people are going to be sore, shoveling out their driveway or their laneway or their windrow in front of their driveway, but the roads themselves, the highways are good. A lot of the secondary roads and those municipal residential streets, they're the ones that are still with some challenges because there's really no place to put so much accumulated snow, and even on the highways, the shoulders are still full.
We've been hearing about dozens of collisions. Some vehicles even spun off into ditches. Any injuries, serious injuries that we know of?
Yeah, the one fortunate thing is no fatalities to report. There have been some injuries, no serious injury collisions and no road closures. Although we did have some tractor trailers into the ditches, which caused heavy equipment to be required to remove those vehicles. That took extended times with lane closures. We had some multi-vehicle crashes with injuries reported, but for the most part, it was mostly property damage, fender benders, and then all those vehicles getting stuck in snowbanks, stuck in the ditch, or sliding off the on-ramps and off-ramps because they're going too fast. And the concern that we have right now, because the system is gone and people now have that expectation that they can resume normal operations, and this is now when we start seeing those higher speeds and the potential for more serious injury collisions. So this is probably a more critical time for safety out on the roads than maybe even during the snow event when everyone is hyper vigilant. Some people may feel a little more relaxed and relieved the snow is done, and they don't have that sense of attention to the task of driving. But this is the really important time where you have to keep your head on a swivel and understand how things can change, conditions can change. And again, if you haven't cleared your vehicle of ice and snow, please clear it off, because it's now going to be turning into chunks of ice, and that ice and snow can easily fly off and cause crashes and smash into windshields from traffic behind you.
That was my next question for you, because I know you like to keep an eye out for a lot of the bad behaviors, and sometimes people get lazy. They brush off the snow off their windshield or their back windshield, and it's they forget about what's on the roof, and that could be very dangerous, especially driving at high speeds.
It sure can. And with the snow right now over the last few days, where it's been nice fluffy powder, yes, it blows off and it can cause a whiteout condition. But the real concern is now, as that snow begins to compress and turn into sheets of ice, that's what becomes flying chunks of ice that can cause some very significant damage. And so, we need you to be mindful of how you're operating your vehicle and how you are sharing the road with others. And that means being safe and responsible, clearing the vehicle of ice and snow, not just your windshield, but your roof, trunk, and hood, and everywhere, so you can see outside and it's not going to come flying off. And again, remember, with wet roads and freezing temperatures, even with the salt, we can still have conditions where it is icy and slushy. And if your vehicle gets caught on some of that snow and slush on the edges of the highway, very often it feels like your vehicle is getting pulled into that snow and slush. So that's when you need to make sure you have a firm grip on the steering wheel, no aggressive steering, no aggressive braking, and let's make sure we all get to our destination safely.
All great advice. OPP Sergeant Kerry Schmidt, thanks for checking in. Appreciate it.
Thank you.